Good afternoon, folks. We are live and up and running once again. Let me get everything switched over to the right layout, and we will resume the endgame grind in Monster Hunter Wilds. Alright, should have game video and audio. This is going to be an interesting experiment. Since this is the first time I've streamed this game since the recent title update, I'd be curious to see if the performance is any better while I'm streaming with my model. Just looking at the playback, my model is stuttering a bit. But it's not moving completely in slow motion, it's just a little bit jittery. The game itself seems to be running fine. I'm not seeing any major issues on my screen or on the playback. I guess we'll see once we actually get out into hunts. Let me double check, make sure I put my model at 30 frames per second. Yep. Alright, we'll keep an eye on it. And what matters is that the actual gameplay and the playback for the broadcast is not totally wonky. The model isn't perfect, and that's alright. So I've had a chance to do some grinding in the latest title update for Wild since it came out on Monday. And I'll kind of talk through what my goals are going to be for the stream today. We're going to be just kind of focusing on the grind itself. But I'll go over to the smithy and explain the equipment situation, and then we'll probably just jump into some random hunts with people in multiplayer.
You have any requests?
Let me go down to the bottom and talk about the new monsters that I've already hunted a couple times. In fact, the first one I've hunted quite a bit. With title update 2, we got the incorporation of 2 new monsters, and the third one, Arch-Tempered Uthduna, will be at the end of the month. But the first one that we had added to the game, that was one the Monster Hunter community has been clamoring for a really long time, is Lagiacrus. And we'll talk a bit more about the monster when we get into the fight, but the Thunder Element Leviathan was the flagship for Monster Hunter Tri, the 3rd generation game. And Lagi was fun and hasn't been in a mainline game since the 4th generation. It was a huntable target in GU, which is the last time I fought it before this. But in the modern era of Monster Hunter titles, specifically Wilds, and then before that, Rise Sunbreak, and before that, World Iceborne, this particular monster had not ever made an entry. And I'll probably mention it a couple times, especially if Lava shows up. With the introduction of Lagi in Wilds, in the recent update, we finally got the canon pronunciation of its name, since it had not been in a voiced game prior to this, and people pronounced it a whole manner of different ways. I called it Lagiacrus with kind of a soft ah instead of a sharp a, but it turns out the correct pronunciation is close to what I said. It's just sharp a's instead. So instead of loggy, it's just laggy. Lagiacrus. And the syllable break is like right in the middle instead of the front or the back. And you hear it from several of the NPCs when they talk. That's how we got the confirmation. So going forth, whether you like it or not, the canon name is Lagiacrus. So the armor here that I've got on screen, the alpha armor, is really cool looking. I think this is just a straight up upscaled version of its Blade Master armor from the older games. And this is the version alpha, and then the beta one looks like this, which is, I'd say, almost as good. I like the design of the chest piece on the A better than the B, but I'm going to want to craft both of these so I can kind of mix and match, because I think what I was looking at was the A helm. Let's do it like this, which is always hidden on our character anyway. The A chest. I think the A gauntlets. The B waist, which is a little different. Well, I think the only difference is... Oh no, the plating is different. The plating's different, and the front part protects a little bit more of the crotchal region. It's very close, though. Yeah, the fin patterning and kind of the plating is a little bit different. I could use either, honestly. They're both good. And then for the legs, the greaves cut off lower on the B version. And the knee, kind of knee plating around the lower leg guards is a little bit different too. I would probably go either. I think the lower cutoff greaves are not a big deal since the plating kind of protects everything. So I think I'd do like a mix of something like this. It's kind of a unique combination of the two, or just go alpha and beta. I'd probably do 3 different sets. One with all of one, second with all the other, and then a mix. And then we would go in and we'd play around with the coloring. I think what I'd do if I could, I don't think the main plate can be recolored, but if I could, I'd want to duplicate Ivory Lagiacrus's color scheme, the subspecies that showed up in the older games. Ivory was one of my favorites. It was a cool kind of remix version of the original fight. On the skills for this one, just throw it on. This one comes with... Oh, let's see what's the easiest way to show it. Okay, I'll show it a little bit easier. We get a mix of weakness exploit, which is pretty good, maximum might, stamina surge, latent power. No evasion, no sharpness skills, and this is on the beta. The alpha's got a few more skills, including aquatic, oil, silk, mobility, at the cost of slots. So I'd probably go for the beta like I've done with everything else. That way I have more slots to play with if I actually want to use the armor. But the skill loadout's not bad. The unique bonus is interesting. Azurbolt 1 increases affinity and can deal extra thunder damage upon build-up. Which, unlike Scorcher, is a build-up to proc over time. And I wonder if it does the damage no matter what. It's just free thunder damage that procs after a certain amount of time with an affinity boost, which is interesting. I know for Zoshia's has something similar, but it's not elemental. I think it's just flat 50 damage with no elemental. It's been a while since I've looked at the gear for Zoshia. Where is it? It's Numinous set. Right down here. Oh, it's on the weapons. Never mind. This is super recovering on the armor. My bad.
How can I serve?
It's Fire Torrent, whatever it's called. White Flame Torrent. Deals additional damage after landing an attack. Level 1. So I think it's flat non-elemental damage, but when paired with Scorcher, it'll boost the fire damage. So similar skill, but it's on the armor. Laggy's weapons have a different skill. Convert Thunder Resistance, which is always active. Increase elemental attack proportional to thunder resistance. So if you're using something that has element on it, and you're using this, well, I guess it just means you're doing more thunder damage since it's only on this weapon. So any of the laggy weapons will boost thunder damage in element based on how much resistance you have, which makes it more of a reason to use it with the armor, since the armor has thunder resistance built in.
Do you have any requests?
So I don't know. I would probably do at least 4 pieces to get the maxed out skill if I was going to do it. As far as which ones I would use, probably everything that's got Stamina Surge and Weakness Exploit. So maybe chest, hands, waist, legs, and then maybe something else on the head. So you get the set bonus, and then you could slot something else in for the head. It'd be kind of tough. I don't think I'm going to build around Laggy's skills right now, especially since I can't really upgrade armor. I'm still trying to upgrade the armor I've got. But let's see, going down here to beta. I have hunted a decent amount of these things so far, but I've only gotten 2 of its rare drops, Sapphire, and I need 3. Well, 3 of them. That's an expensive set. Okay. Three Sapphires, I'm probably good on most everything else. How many hides do we need? 5, 11, 15. Yeah, we're good on hide. Scale pluses, 6, 11. That's it. Claws. 3, 6, 6 claws. Okay. And the shock spikes. Those are the parts from its back. We need 4, 7. And then horns. 2, 5. That's it. Yeah, it's just the last Sapphire. Okay. Well, we have to build the set twice, so I don't think I'm going to grind up for the second set today unless we get really lucky. I just care about building the first one, and then I'll do the second one at some point. It's a little bit tough, though, because I want that gun lance. I'll show off what the gun lance does, and then we'll we'll get ready to go into actual hunts. Won't spend all our time in the menus. But before we do, the other target I want to practice on today is the second new monster that came out with the update, and that's Seregios, or Steve. And this monster was in Rise and Sunbreak. This is the Flying Pinecone, known for its very quick, very aggressive fighting style, lots of kicks. And Seregios has always had really clean armor, a mix of golds and oranges, or kind of like a rust color. The alpha looks like this, and the beta looks like this. I think both are pretty good. I like the alpha more. The beta looks a little bit less like combat armor, more just like a clothing. But we could probably do something like mix and match. I do like the leg pieces. Leg pieces are a little bit more sleek on the beta. The waist piece, the kind of skirt, I think I like the alpha better. Arm pieces, gets a buckler. Yep. I think I like the kind of more protective ones on the alpha. I think it's everything alpha except for the legs. And even then, I didn't realize that the cutoff, because of the waist, that looks a little bit weird. Versus the Greaves cover. Yeah, okay, we go full alpha for that one. Seregios has Adrenaline Rush. This one has Evade on it. We get 4 points in Evade. Bleed Resistance, which is good because Seregios' scales inflict bleed if you're fighting it. And then Counter Strike. Overall, not bad. Again, I don't see a huge change to majority of my sets. Maybe some of the non-gore pieces could be swapped out for some of these. But I still want to build the armor. So let's run some laggy hunts for a bit, see what we get. Practice. And then we'll switch over to Steve and do that. And we'll start with Gunlance. Now, my win record is not perfect against laggy. In fact, I've probably failed it maybe half the amount of times in my attempts. I will say I got a rare triple cart the first couple times I was practicing it the day the update came out. I was in a group of 4, and I was just outside its range when it decided to nuke the area, and we lost in 1 nuke. 3 people got carted at once. And it was actually pretty impressive. But we're going after the tempered version, which is the considerably more difficult version of the hunt. This is a 5 diamond, 8 star, if we can get in. Well, it's taking a hot minute to load in. I wonder if that's a connection issue. Oh, no, there we go.
We got this.
Sent a supply
I've
item.
set a bomb.
Alright, let's beeline it. We're far away. Fast travel. That's fairly close. Interestingly enough, I didn't see a huge change in the performance for Wilds on my machine when I installed the update. Now, again, it's going to be probably a little bit of a different scenario since now I'm streaming with my model, and that's what usually stresses my computer out. Oh, did I go farther away? Apparently I can't read the map. I want to be up here. Whoops. But the area that I noticed it running smoother, again, off stream, my model's probably moot, but it was the Scarlet Forest. The Scarlet Forest had easily the most stuttering and kind of sluggish performance in general when I was running this game, even offline. It wasn't game breaking, but it was noticeably struggling a bit here. It's probably going to be maybe the same as what I was used to before now, but off stream it ran very smooth and consistent as far as the frame rate and everything else here. So that's a noticeable improvement in the performance. I think they're making good strides to fix it. I wasn't the one who had like just running the game issues and crashing because I got lucky. But I think the reviews on Steam for the PC version are probably going to be in the toilet until they work on it some more. But at least they're trying. Alright. Let's get in the fight proper. I'll try and talk through it while I do my best to not die. So Laggy as a Leviathan, and is a big boy. Probably one of the largest Leviathans so far. Uses a lot of attacks that hit in... Uh-oh, that's what I wanted. It uses a lot of attacks that hit around it with its element, and then a lot of attacks that sort of use its large body for the non-elemental attacks. So a lot of lunging and biting like that. Oh, are we doing the story quest? No, we're not. There's a lot of tail swipes. And kind of these diving tackles, too. They did a good job updating its animation and moveset for this game. Primarily, they had to readapt Laggy a bit since in 3rd generation you had to fight it underwater, which we will get to eventually here. But it has a pretty functional moveset on land as well, since you fight it the majority of the time on land in this game. And then we go into the underwater for kind of a unique bit, which I think they implemented pretty well. Boy, that's a lot of chip. Which makes me think they're using this as a testing ground for maybe returning underwater combat in the next Monster Hunter game.
We got this.
I especially like, since we're fighting in a lot of water areas in the forest, whenever Laggy uses its electricity as a discharge attack, it boils the water around it whenever the electricity hits it. It's a cool effect. Now in tempered version, the regular version is decently challenging, but nothing that's going to really scare you too much. The tempered version is much meaner. Higher damage. I can't really tell if the movesets are dramatically different because I primarily only hunted the tempered version. But getting hit by it is going to be a bad time no matter what. And with the tempered monsters now being a little bit more resistant to wounds, you can't just kind of stun lock and spam it with wound attacks anymore. And you really have to not be greedy, since it likes to do that small shock, which I don't think it's done yet. But the big one, when it curls up, has a pretty wide range of effect, and that does a lot of damage. If you have bad thunder resistance, it could one hit you. And that sort of Psycho Crusher into the flying shoulder tackle. Does a ton of damage as well. Pretty much everything the tempered version does at 8 stars 5 diamond just hits like a freight train. So people said the game was too easy. I don't think they're saying that when it comes to this fight. Okay, yeah, that's the big version of the shock. Wound on the head. Double Wyvern's Fire. Trying to get the back. Step off. Ow. Oh, right when I got up. Ah. Just trying to stay on the ground for a second longer and let that go over me. Huh. I saw one person get KO'd with that first nuke. Huh. Did it catch 3 of us? It must have caught a bunch of us, or I missed another cart. Oof. Alright. Oh, 0 for 1. It cost me a lucky ticket.
I'm glad you're all right. Take a second to restock your supplies before heading out, okay?
Keep an eye out for more of the tempered versions of not only Laggy and Seregios, but the Apexes too. I don't think I have an 8-star. Oh, there's new Udra. I think I have at least one of those. I need one for Uthduna. And I think I need an 8-star Raidao as well. Last time I was hunting that one was before they updated the quest difficulty to include 8 stars. Alright. We're going back in. We should restock.
Come back anytime.
Let's try that again.
Hey.
Sessions fill up fast. Everybody's hunting Laggy since the update dropped. I think everyone's trying to get into these 5 diamond 8 stars. Okay, just keep refreshing. Oh, we're gonna get in. So we'll see if it takes just as long for us to load in. I get the feeling that's a connection issue. Yeah, I think it's connection based. Alright. Where's the party at?
Only one who can manage this quest, Hunter. The guild sent us supply items.
Time for a few quick reps.
Okay, we got insect glaive user, longsword user, and great sword user. Oh, lost one. What happened? Oh, no feints. Wonder if that person got DC'd. Let's see if we can get a wound on the back and on the head. Nah. Oh, I was going for my finisher there. That's the small version of the nuke. Small-ish. It hits kind of directly around Laggy's body, but it doesn't explode outwards like the big one. Still dangerous. You don't want to be anywhere near it when it's doing that. I haven't decided which weapon I find easiest to fight this monster. I did test a bit on several of the weapons I play. Gunlance isn't bad. The biggest risk with Gunlance is getting stuck in one of the bigger animation commitments when it goes in to do the nuke. You don't want to be greedy. Like going for the full blast or even Wyvern's Fire when you don't have a good opening means you're probably going to catch one of the big nukes. There's no way to cancel out of those once you start them. Like that. Lance isn't bad either. I think Lance is easier than Gun Lance because Lance has a few more defensive options. The cost of some of the burst damage that Gun Lance can do when there's an opening. Duels, I think duels might be one of the easier weapons just because of the mobility. You can really dance and get out without being too stuck in animation. I tried longsword. Uh-oh. Longsword's not bad as long as you keep moving or you get good with counters. I've not tried Charge Blade. Okay, someone with the faster focus strikes, I need to hit that one on the head. Yeah, like that. I'll do. And I've not tried range. Range probably wouldn't be too bad as long as you don't get clocked by anything. I've heard there's a glitch with the range weapons that causes the game to suffer in some cases, so I haven't really done much with light bow guns since the update. Maybe I'll check it out later. Oh, I've done SNS too. SNS is pretty functional since you're pretty mobile. And you have perfect guard too, just in a pinch. Oh boy. KO. Blast on the head. I think the horns in the back are the toughest breaks against Laggy. You can break its front legs. Do enough damage. Oh, we're going into its nest. We might have done enough damage to get close to doing the underwater phase, which will take a bit of explaining. We'll see if it goes in there right away. Not yet. Uh-oh. Could have been bad. There we go. Alright, water time. Oh, nope. That's over here. Occasionally, Laggy can pop in and out of the water just to attack. But I think it has to go in from over there for the water phase to start. Like right now. Now it's water time. Okay, now this is unique to Wilds. Before this update, there was no underwater mechanics at all. So this is a nod back to 3rd generation, which introduced water combat. Be careful I don't target the wrong obstacle or hazard. But underwater, we don't have the ability to use our weapon normally. We have three-dimensional movement, up, down, and dodges. But we have a couple different parts of the environment we can pull down to hit Laggy in this phase. But the idea is to do as much damage as possible before it does its ult. A really, really big attack. And if we've done enough damage, then it'll leave the water and we continue the fight on land. It only does this once, as far as I know. In addition to being able to pick up these sharp projectiles from the environment, if you get close, you can use your slinger to grapple on. But it's a little bit dangerous because Laggy still has its thunder moves in the water. But you can cut at it to create wounds or use a weapon-specific attack, kind of like your weapon finisher. When you grapple on, you just have to do it fast. This is kind of like a series of, not mini games, because it does take place during the fight, and it is very possible to lose here if you're not careful. But it feels smoother in its implementation than it did in Try. And I think that's probably because the game is running at kind of a smoother pace. But also the ability to kind of look around and your movement in general, I think, feels a bit better. So if they flesh this out, I think they could implement underwater combat again. It's not my favorite. I wasn't a huge fan of it before, but if they make it smooth and it plays well, then I got no issue with it, since there's a lot of cool monsters that we don't normally encounter because they're primarily in the water. But we did enough damage, kind of collectively, to force Laggy out back on the dry land. And now we finish the fight back in the forest. Ow. Good thing that wasn't targeting me. Oh, I see one on the side. I don't know if I can get at it though. Okay. Blade user got it. I like Drake Augur as a concept, but I think it's one of the most difficult to land focused strikes just because it's got such a slow startup. Oh, I didn't see the capture prompt. Alright. That works. I know other meleeers were trying to get that tail severed, but we'll take the dub. Fight can go south quickly, as evidenced by the last run. Alright, certificates, shock spikes, no horns, no tail, no sapphire. It is cool that Laggy gives Hunter Symbol 3, so I'm getting a lot of those. Alright, we're 1 for 2. Artillery? I have not seen a second artillery deco in the entirety of the endgame I've been grinding. I have one, which means every time I switch weapons in my gun lances, I have to take it off and put it on whatever I'm using. Okay, what we'll do is every time we successfully pull that hunt off, I'm going to switch weapons. We'll go take a look and see what our options are. We can do duels. And Laggy's main elemental weakness is fire. Another thing that they added in the title update, we can change the appearance of weapons, which is nice. I'll throw the Zoshia model on there. We just need to have the final version crafted in order to use its cosmetic effect. And we'll go... I'll go Shuwu. This is usually what I use for duels. And we're going to go back in. Oh, this one's got a guaranteed sapphire. I just saw that in the rewards. Those probably fill up instantly as soon as they're posted. Okay, we need to be on point for this one. That would get us our 3rd sapphire, and I think the last bit to craft the armor. But we're going to need more. I think each weapon requires a sapphire to max out. And I want to do the gun lance for sure. The duels. Longsword, we have Artian for that. So maybe I need another 3 sapphires for weapons. I do want to do its hammer when we start working on hammer. I'll need a lot. I'm going to be farming Laggy for a bit.
I got it. Work. This will be a dangerous one, but I know you'll manage. We received supply items. Don't let them go to waste.
Nah, we'll just hoof it.
I gathered some materials too. Check your field pouch.
Right. I'll try and cut the tail off. Name of the game will be Stay in Mobile. Getting far away from the really dangerous attacks like that. Noticing a bit of hiccuping here. Whoa. Man. Can't be greedy, especially with a sapphire on the line. Too close to the base of the tail. Let's What are you doing all the way over there? Alright. One cart. Oh man, close quarters, not the best type of environment to fight this guy in. Okay, where are we headed to next? At least this area's out in the open a bit more. Plus there's the water hazard. I'm out of life powders. It's close enough. Gotcha. Nice. Oof. No, you don't. Ah, there's a bot. Okay, I'll deal with that once it rezones. I can't really afford to pause at the moment. About 10-minute mark. Doing decent damage. Uh-oh. Oh, there's a tempered Mizu here too. I'm gonna do both those at the same time. Woo, woo. I just barely cleared that. Almost got us both. Oh, we're on our last cart. Not great. Yeah, stay all the way over there. Okay, it's leaving. Alright, let me ban that bot. So rude. Okay, I wonder if we're gonna cut over to the nest. Let's find out. Yeah, I think we're gonna head over. Might be going in the underwater phase soon, which I hope everyone's locked in because we can't afford to get KO'd one more time.
Great accident!
Aw. What's up?
Thanks! That helped!
Alright, now it's water time. Bonked. I should probably bring him over here. Uh-oh. Come on, Gunlance. Here. Uh-oh. What? I don't have any ammo. Maybe I can draw it. Oh boy. Close enough. Gotcha. Sucker. That might be enough to get it out of this phase. If so, that will be very lucky. Okay, good. Oh no, that's the ult. I was leaving. Yeah, pretty sure that's a one shot that hits you. And it takes up a good majority of the center of this underwater arena. Well, we made it. The idea would be to do enough damage to Laggy to get it to leave before it does that. Try and pile the damage on. Keep an eye out for the cap mark. If it hits capture, it'll drop a pit. Assuming we last that long. Uh-oh. Past the 20-minute mark. Oh boy, dual blades. Oh boy. Really has it out for that gun lancer. Ow. tired. Okay, good. Pile the damage on. It's got to be close. I should put the pitfall on lock just in case. Where are you going? Oh, it's going to eat. Yeah, it eats the birds. Well. I was looking at the capture icon to see if it was going capture. I completely didn't pay attention to the nuke. Aw. One for 3.
Of course. Come back anytime.
I wonder if I can eat for insurance. Okay, we'll burn a voucher.
I'll be here if you change your mind.
Hey! All right. Let me know if you change your mind. Yeah.
Oh, I happen to pick one with this guaranteed sapphire again. And it's 35 minutes. Okay. We weren't really bumping up against that time limit on the last one, but it was tough.
It's a challenging quest, but that just makes for a sweeter victory.
Alright, we got a longsword user, a charge blade user, another dual blade user.
gathered some materials too. Check your field pouch.
Ah, we're up here. Okay, I'm gonna focus on the tail again. See if we can get an actual cut.
We've been given more supplies.
Oh.
Check your savings pouch.
Oh, that's the free cart. Oh. Big hit. Longsword user and I are kind of focusing on the tail. That's good. Besides just getting the carve, taking the tail off does sort of reduce the range of Logi's tail swipes. Oh. Fast two carts. Ow.
Thanks, that helps.
I feel like we're doing pretty good damage. We're trading a lot of hits and we lost two carts already. Man. And one more dust of life.
Thanks, that helps.
Using flashes is an interesting strategy. I guess to kind of keep it from going into some, like the bigger nukes. It'll build up a tolerance to that over time, but
Set. I've set a bomb.
last cart. Five minutes in. It's not the best. Come here. Oh man. One for 4. Oh, yeah, 8 minutes. And I'd like to get at least one more successful hunt with Lagian before we switch over to Steve.
Hey!
This one is not a guaranteed sapphire. At this point, I just want to clear the hunt. I don't really care too much about the guaranteed sapphire drop.
It's a challenging quest, but that just makes for a sweeter victory.
Oh, we're coming up from this side. I don't normally go to that camp. I think we'll do this. If we don't clear this hunt, I'm going to attempt it solo. And we'll see if that works better. Not a guarantee, but less liabilities. We'll see. Ooh, that was close. Ooh. They don't.
Thanks! That helped!
Nice. Good damage. Leaving? Alright. Not bad. That's what? One cart? Might be an insurance cart. Oh, come on. There's a little bit of an indication where the bolts are going to land. It's the glowing spot before they detonate. I tried to dodge around it and was not successful. Tail. Nice. Works. That definitely put it close. Maybe get the tail off before we go under the water.
Make sure to grab anything a monster leaves behind.
Overall, not bad so far. Can't be greedy. Oh, did somebody get the rubble? Maybe someone got the rubble as it was going underneath. That'll force anything that's water-based swimming through to take a bunch of damage and immediately pop out for quick free hits.
More supplies have been added.
Oh, we're going in already? Okay. Here. Oh, that's a little bit too far. Oh, not close enough. Come here, you goober. That'll do. Bonk. Out of droppable rubble. Just got to go for pods and grapple attacks. No, that's a face grapple. Oh, I haven't seen that animation before. Huh. I wonder if that's unique if you do a certain amount of damage. Well, either way, I've got it out of the water. Tail's gotta be close. Nope. Yep. Oh, it's near death. See you. Just go for the kill, I guess. Oh man, I feel like the tail had to be close. Like 16 minutes? That's pretty good. Pretty good timing. Good job, team. That's 2 for 5. Think. Claws, hide scales, no horns, no shock spikes, no sapphire. Holy moly! Finally, a level 3 artillery jewel. It's a Christmas miracle. It's like the second one in 124-ish hours. However long I've been doing this. Hallelujah. It means I can have an alternate gun lance and not have to swap my deck rolls around every single time. I can put magazine ones in the rest of the slots and put the artillery one in the first. Okay. Let's switch up things for a bit. Go fight Steve. I could make the gun lance. Or I can make the lance. I'm going to go lance against Steve first. It's actually pretty fun to play around at counters in that fight. Steve's weak against thunder. We could take Indra Claire Lance This one is Raydow's Lance for Thunder Element. The Loggy one is higher Thunder. It's double. I think it's 500. It's either 4 or 500. And I believe the sharpness might be a little lower, but for overall damage, plus it has the Loggy skill for the Convert Thunder resistance on that instead of Guard. I want to say instead of Guard, but rather than worry about that, we'll go in with Raydow's Lance. Throw in our set for Lancer. For Steve, we could see if anyone's hosting the tempered one. I think I maybe did this once, or maybe I just did the regular version. Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay. Oh, this one has a guaranteed dissenter. That's the rare drop for Steve. I do need a bunch of those. All right, better lock in. Now the pace of this fight's gonna be very different compared to Laggy. Steve is faster. Doesn't have really big AoE type attacks, but between its really quick strikes and the fact that its scales will inflict bleed, it's pretty dangerous too. And we'll see how it performs with the tempered version. The regular version was tough, but not too bad. The tempered version is probably more of a nightmare. But we'll see. We can afford to be a bit more cautious with the Lance. Go defensive. Gotcha. In all the other games that Seregios has shown up in, its weak points always hit its legs. It had kind of comparatively short or lower trip thresholds compared to a lot of the other monsters. That's a big one too. Ah. I probably should have just stuck it out for the guard. I tried to go for the counter, and I think the counter animation was still going off. That's why I ate the hit. Oh. That's my bad. I burned our insurance cart. Hungry. A little bit closer to the pillar. That'll do. Leg break. Wing break. Oh, there's nothing over here too.
Make sure to grab anything a monster leaves behind.
I need to grab jerky. Put that on my hot bar since this monster's in the game now. That'll fast cure bleed. That's kind of like a big, not a nuke, but a big heavy hit. Don't want to get struck by that at all. Okay, other leg break. Oh man, I did the same thing. I should probably block the first one and just tank the second one instead of trying to counter it. Even. Oh, that's another move they gave Steve in this game. It can now yeet some of the smaller animals at you. Good. Picking a fight with the chicken. see if we can cut the tail. Tired? Okay, it's got to be getting close. I think we're doing all right. How many cards do we have left? 2? Okay. It is cool for the power clash. It goes feet first since that's primarily what it uses to attack. Tail. Now it's almost dead. Yeah, overall, I'd say this fight is faster and more frantic than laggy, but not quite as dangerous. But much of the sweeping kicks and the big moves can probably cart several people at once, but they don't have the big area of effect boom like laggy does. That being said, I don't know if I'd want to fight Seregios with a non-shielded weapon. Probably wouldn't be too bad with duels, you just have to outdance it. Are we going to go insta capture? That might be a good idea. This is a guaranteed dissenter quest. What matters most is that we complete it, not that we kill it. Well, you going for the kill? Alright, fine. Well, if one more person gets KO'd, put a trap down. I get KO'd. Ah! Nice. I don't think that was me. I think that was one of the other mailers. Good enough. Impaler. Tail. We didn't break the head horn. But we got a lot. I think we're missing the back, maybe?
It's a trove of new data.
Hard to tell. One of the wings. We've got both the legs. There it is. Guaranteed dissenter. Oh, we got 2 horns, just cuz, okay. These also give hunter symbol 3s. Okay, that's good. 1533 for 8-star. I think that was a 5 diamond. We didn't look at any of the weapons for Seregios. They're unique, so we'll go back and take a look at those. And we'll get ready to wrap up for today's session.
Come on over. How can I serve?
The Seregios weapons themselves look pretty cool. They're kind of this muted gold and rust color. In the older games, the Master Rank or G Rank versions would turn into pine cones when they're drawn or charged. I don't believe the high rank ones do that. But they have a unique skill on them called Blade Scale Honing. When you dodge, I guess it's considering that like a perfect dodge, kind of like some of the other weapons have built in. When you perfect dodge while using a Seregios weapon, you get a sharpness boost. And this says special sharpness, so I don't know what that means because I've never used the skill in this game. But in the old ones, when you would dodge correctly or a certain amount of times, it would boost your sharpness. I wonder if it gives your sharpness a buff in this. But it's kind of unique. This is the only monster that has that. And so they're non-element weapons with a decently high affinity. 25%. It's pretty good. But the Seregios blade scale tends to work pretty well on fast hitting weapons. So if I was going to build that for anything, I don't think it would be Lance. We don't really do a ton of dodging. We do more blocking and countering with Lance. I think I'd probably go duels for sure. The Terrible Twins, decent raw, a little bit lower on raw but higher affinity. But given how much we dodge with duels, taking advantage of blade scale probably makes sense for this one. I would say duels first, then longsword. Duels, then longsword, or maybe SNS. The Kanga Rebellion. Yeah, I remember that weapon. Probably would do well with longsword, duels, SNS. Charge blade, you can make an argument. What does this have on its file type, though? Impact? That's not bad. You do a decent amount of dodging with charge blade, too. Definitely insect glaive, given how fast this weapon hits. Altiel, I remember that one too. But to craft the armor, I'm assuming it's like Laggies, and we need at least 3 dissenters. Let's take a look. 1, 2. Yep, same deal. We're gonna need a lot of those rare scale drops. forgot to look at this. So for the actual armor set itself for Seregios, it's built-in skill, Razor's Edge, extends Adrenaline Rush, which is Adrenaline Rush is the boost when perfectly evading. It's a temporary attack boost when you perfect evade correctly, which is kind of like the built-in skill that dual blades have, and they have that amp state. You turn blue. This is a pretty good dual blade set, I think. Dual blade and SNS. Dual blade, SNS, and actually longsword. Just have to build in maybe some sharpness. Sharpness and maybe some other offensive skills. Probably retool that decently well for melee sets. I'll have to think about that. Because right now, for duels, we're using this set, which has Evade Extender, which is nice, especially for duels. This one comes with Evade Window 4, which Seregios has on the 5-piece, but also has some of the gore skills. I think that's the main difference. Oh, Constitution. Constitution, Handicraft, Protective Polish. That's coming from the weapons. No, I don't think so. I think those are coming from the armor. Yeah, I could foresee maybe swapping in some of the Seregios pieces to get better evade. And maybe adrenaline over some of these other ones. Either way, we still have quite a bit of work to do in the end game in Wilds. I think I'll probably work on grinding a bit offline, and then we'll see when we'll stream it again. Could also coordinate with the community too and see if anyone wants to do multi at some point. But overall, it seems like the game runs fine. My model suffers a little bit, but it's not in the world. Well, we'll go ahead and call it there. Let me see who's online that we can raid. Let's see. Biffy Cat. I have not rated them in a bit. We're playing Deltarune? Alright, we can go head over there and see how that's going. I know nothing about Deltarune, but we'll go ahead and queue that. And we will go to outro. And we will call that a stream for today. We will be back, I believe it's Sunday on the schedule, and we're going to be returning to a Survivor-like that we haven't checked up in a while. So there'll probably be a bunch of new things to see there. So, in the meantime, hope everyone has a good rest of your day, and I will catch you folks in the next one. Let's go see how the Deltarune's going.